I was just thinking, like, I know, don't hurt myself. You know, do you know when you hear of these younger girls, like, getting with the older man, like, you know, and we've seen the comments, like, what did your parents do? Where were the parents? Like, I don't think people understand that you can have the best, most loving parents in the world. When you're 15, 16, 17, you're doing whatever you want to do. You like, your parents can't control you. Do you know what I mean?
I believe a lot of young girls go with older men because they're missing something. They want to be unconditionally loved, and like these older, and it's the same with men who go with older women and it turns toxic. It doesn't always turn toxic, but it can. These people love bomb you, so you feel fulfilled and you've got it, and you're like, yeah, you know, this is my place. And then you hit that brick wall and see what their real intentions are, and it spins you out because you're like, hang on a minute, this wasn't what I signed up for, and you don't know how to get out of it because they condition you to be reliant on them.
And also, we can lie, let's be honest, us girls, teenage girls, we can lie. Just say, look, I've gone with my friends, that's it.
My ex, I never lied about my age. He'll still tell people to this day that I'm older than him because he knows people will look at our child's age difference and work it out for themselves. So to me, he knows what he done was wrong to still to this day continue to lie to say I'm older than him.
No, sorry, I was meaning like lie to our parents. Sorry, I was meaning lie to our parents. Like we could say, oh, we're staying at our friend's house and things like that. Like they don't know, you know, at 15, my mum wasn't checking my friend's family. Oh, is she staying over or anything like that? Because at 15, you know, do you know what I mean? But yeah,
help you manipulate. I assume because he helped me manipulate the staff. I was living in a house and I had 4 or 5 staff members on duty all the time, you know, and they help you manipulate the situation because they know it's wrong, so they tell you the little white lies to tell, and that's where the brain conditioning starts. And the control.
I agree with what Miss Red said. Like when people are putting in the comments and stuff about where was mothers and stuff like that. When I was 15-year-old, I'm not ashamed to say it, I was a rebel. Like my mom could not, like, she couldn't control me. She couldn't rein me in. I was going to do what I wanted to do, regardless of what anybody said to me. Do you know? And it's not always a mother's fault. Do you know what I mean?
No situation is black and white, and it's not. There's a lot of grey areas for everybody, and everyone's tale has got a different thing. You know, it's like my situation. My ex did go to jail for abduction. The social services system did send him to jail for abduction, and they tried to get him on statutory rape, but I wouldn't. That's where the manipulation. I wouldn't admit that the child I was carrying was his, so they couldn't pursue it. But obviously, she's walking about. If I wanted to pursue it, like the DNA tester, but then who does that affect? It just affects my daughter then, where. She's good. You know, at the end of the day, she did go through a phase of about 14, 15. She asked me and approached me, you know, Mum, I want to see Dad. Because I've never lied to her or anything. And I said, you're at an age now where you've got to use your own brain and stuff. And they did have contact for a while, but yeah, he'd done the same coercing control thing with her. And she ended up having a breakdown after a few visits with him and was like, I can't cope. She said, I don't want to hear me anymore. So I pulled out the injunction that I had already on him, and I said, you come near my daughter again and I will get you arrested and I will go to the police and get you done for a thing because of her. And he's never approached her ever again. And like I said, she's now in uni living her best life.
And can I also
I'm going to drop down, Red. I'll speak to you in a little while. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, Jay. Thank you.
Someone just wrote in the comments, someone who's 29 and married to an 84-year-old. Now, I think that is a bit too far.
Can I just say also, guys, we're not here slamming it, saying like that it's all wrong, because there is some people that have age gaps in their relationships and they're genuinely in love with each other and they go on to have happy, healthy, completely like platonic relationships. So I just want to make that fact. We're not here slamming it.
Can I just say, ladies, this is my experience, but a lot of females were brought up around, you know, like the mum and dad being brought up around domestic violence, and I saw a lot of like what my stepdads did to my mum. So me growing up, I never had a bar. I never knew do you know what I mean? What was acceptable to a woman? So I obviously looked up at my mum, and I ended up picking men similar to, you know, the type of men my mum had, because I didn't know sort of any. I know that sounds bad, but I didn't really know any different.
You didn't
So
know
I
the
didn't have a bar.
to look
Does
for
that
in a
make
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because I was witnessing, you know, my dad hitting my mum and stuff like that, I didn't. You know, if I would have been round a dad who checked my mum really well, it might have been different. But me and my sister have ended up choosing men similar to what my mum did. Like, I'm not blaming my mum, you know, it was my choice. But we ended up going, I think it's because I didn't value myself, and I was quite promiscuous at a young age. And I think I was looking for something, some validation. So I'd go for the older men, you know, who would validate me, told me I was good, and, do you know, things like that. It's sad, really. As a woman, I sort of used my body to, I can't believe I'm, to find love, you know, and be accepted type of thing. And it's only as I've got older I realised, like, you know, we are worth more type of thing. And it weren't until I met a decent guy who treated well. Oh, and quickly, I just want to say, do you know when you're saying about men asking women to dress up in uniforms? I don't agree with that, but I did met my partner once, put my knickers and bra on, and he let me put makeup on him.
I just want to say, like, Siri, something that you said really, like, it really stuck out, like, how many women and men, you know, they go out there, all they want is love, and the way that, you know, they give the body away so freely, thinking that this person is going to love them. You know, it's really sad, isn't it? Because, like, it is. It's sad, you know, that somebody that's so desperate for love that, you know, they feel that
and
that's
acceptance, not just love, acceptance. I did it with friends as well. You know, I did everything. You know, I'd give my friends anything, and I just got took advantage of for years. But to me, I just thought, oh, like, buying friendships in a way, because I just wanted to be liked type of thing, just because of my shitty upbringing. But it's not till I got older and I realised the world isn't like, oh, treat people how they treat you, that's what I was told. But it don't work like that, does it, life? It's not true.
I do think a lot of young people are, like I said, they're missing something and trying to fulfill it, and haven't been sort of given the tools to do it the right way. And
Absolutely.
This is the downfall of it's sort of like people see chaos and it becomes their norm.
Yeah.
You know,
and they thrive in that. They thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And some do turn to drugs and alcohol because they have that something missing. And I know people might not agree, but to me, I believe in nurture. So if you weren't nurtured as a child, like showed that basic love, care and attention, more than likely you are going to grow up looking for that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And for most of us, because of my upbringing, my shit upbringing, I promised myself I will give my kids everything, all that love and everything. It has backfired because they are little bastards to me now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I promised myself I will treat them right how I didn't get treated. But yeah, I definitely do believe in.
I think it's along the lines of kind of, you have to learn to love yourself before anybody else can love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to be able to accept who you are as a human being. You have to be able to look into the mirror and tell yourself
if you haven't got standards, if you haven't got standards of love for yourself, how can you expect someone to come into your life and give you that standard of love when you haven't got it for yourself?
But again, how we've never had them standards because I weren't brought up around that. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to.
That's why I did it with my kids. I thought I will never ever allow my kids to feel that they're alone. You know, and I've overcompensated. Mine is spoiled absolutely rotten. You know, but
my daughter was around it all the time, DV, with me, with not the ex, but the ex before that. And he was terrible who my daughter was with. But I blame myself for that because that's what she saw. Because I think I thought at the time it was the norm. And that's because I've seen it with my parents. But
and I do agree. Sorry, go on.
I had to, at that point, she had a restraining order on him because it was really bad, and we had to go to a panel meeting, and all that was brought up at a panel meeting in front of
I've
social
been there,
services, the law.
done it.
Was my life and what I went through because of how many times I've been reported to the police.
Absolutely.
And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But that I couldn't tell my daughter.
Yeah, I get you. And one more thing as well. I do believe a lot of girls. Sorry, go on.
It's all right. I just want to hear from Dawn because she started to speak. and-
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Dawn. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. It's fine.
Not
It's just that we
everybody
get so
yet now, then.
involved. Hi, Dawn.
Oh, yes, I'm a bit nervous.
Oh, don't be
I have
nervous.
the opposite.
Don't be nervous. It's my first time on live as well.
I have the opposite. I had a fantastic upbringing. My mum and dad was amazing. When I was 16, I met a bloke. He was 10 years older than me. But my sister, when she was 16, ran off with a bloke 12 years older than her. My mum and dad tried everything to get her back. Went the police, solicitors, but because she was 16, they couldn't do nothing. So when I met somebody at 16 who was 10 years older, he actually worked with my dad and my brother. And when they found out, I was with only about 3 months before they found out. So when my dad did, he gave him hell at work to make sure we split up.
Yeah.
So on from that, I was engaged when I was 21, about 3.5 years. We split up, then I met my husband 6 weeks later. I knew my husband's family, but I'd never met him. He was 9 years older than me, but because I was 25, it was different. My mum and dad accepted him. We met and married within 6 weeks.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic.
9 days after our first anniversary, I gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. We would still be married now, 28 years on, but I lost him 4 years ago to cancer.
Oh,
Sorry
sorry.
to hear.
Oh, lovely.
My mum and my dad treated him like a son. My brother, because he's the only lad in the family, he's seen him as the brother he never had. And up until the 3rd of December, when I lost my mum last year, even when my mum was dying, and she looked up at me, and the brain and everything had gone choked out, she says, "Is our Rob still working at the same job?" So they accepted him because I was 25, but they never accepted the one when I was 16.
Yeah.
My mum and dad would have been married 59 years this year.
Wow. How old were they when they got together?
I think my mum was 17 and my dad would have been about 21. They weren't together long before they got married, and after about 12 months they had my brother.
Oh, that's a long time, long marriages.
Yeah.
My mum and dad never, ever argued in front of us kids. Never. There's 4 of us. I'm the youngest, and my brother's the eldest, and I've got 2 sisters in between. And I can't remember a day when my mum and dad argued in front of us.
Oh,
They had a
that's beautiful.
fantastic marriage. And
That's a nice story.
yeah, it was, we had it. Because I was the youngest, and when the other 3 left home, I had I was spoilt from early on. Everything I wanted, I got. And if I didn't get it, I stamped my feet till I got it.
Sounds like my kids.
But Dawn, can I ask now, do you understand why your parents did that?
Yes.
Like when you were 16, yeah.
God, yeah, well,
Yeah.
the bloke my sister ran off with, he lived 25 miles away, but he worked in our town at the power station with my dad and my brother again. And because my dad and Neil got on with him so well, my mum said, instead of travelling every day, you can stay with us. So my mum and dad blamed the South for them getting together. But he was horrible. He was vile to her. She had 2 boys with him, and he got sent to prison. I can't remember now what for. And she came back home. But when he come out of prison, he wanted to see the boys, and he took them off her. He told social services so many lies. It was unbelievable, and she never seen her boys for years. Then there was in the late 20s and they came back. They treated her like a dog.
Really?
And they only came back to her because they were both on tag and they had needed somewhere to live. She nearly lost the marriage she's got now because of the boys. But now, one of them, how long's our grand doing in prison? 15 years? No idea. About 15 years he's doing in prison for beating somebody up. My eldest nephew, he was at his girlfriend's and they had an argument. I think they were both drunk and high on drugs. And she stabbed him once straight through the heart.
Oh, really?
So the next thing the first thing my sister knew, because the police had only got her address, she had a knock on the door at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So she's took that really bad, because she blamed herself. I mean, we tried everything to get them boys back. My mum and dad paid for solicitors and everything. But because he was such a vile bastard, absolutely vile he was, the lies he told was unbelievable. And the boys believed it all the way through. But, I mean, we was in the house one day, we went to Kay, and the boys walked straight past me and my mum on the settee, and said to my daughter, was that old bag he called her? Who's that old bag sitting on the settee? The vile. When he comes out of prison, he'll go straight back because he'll go looking for the girl that stabbed his brother. And he'll murder her and he'll go straight back to prison. His dad, he found out when they were about 14 they were taking coke, that the dad was a dealer.
Just to say, Dawn, be really. I know because you're first into the boxes. Be wary of your words, just because you can get your count bananaed.
Yeah, I've just realised what I said.
Thank you, Harley. I was going to say, Dawn, we're going to have to use code words.
Yeah.
Not that you've done anything wrong. It's just that TikTok picks up and you know violations, and you'll get a ban.
For people as well.
When they were 14, his dad was a dealer, and he put, how do I say this word? Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From his
Snowflake.
living room.
That
through to his
white powder
kitchen.
thing.
Yeah. And he made them all the way from the living room all the way through. And he thought that would teach them a lesson. Well, of course, it never. It made them worse. They wanted more. So in the end, they were doing it for the dad. He was paying them to do the running and stuff. They were just vile kids. Vile.
We're all slagging men off here. We need a man in to tell us if they've had a bad experience with a woman.
I'm just going to say that, like, not all men are bad because my son.
Yeah, not all men are bad.
It is, though. Toxic is toxic. It doesn't have a gender.
No,
Yeah, definitely not. I agree with that. So
There's something positive, if you like.
Well, we can bring up a person, that no contact coach. You know, we know she's a woman and she took advantage of a 15-year-old child.
There you go.
I've heard, though, she's quite proud and victim blaming it on the situation. I can't watch it. I get my
She's
ear.
vile. I've watched it a few times and I can't stand her.
But
who is it? Is it someone on here?
Yeah.
There's a lady not too far away from me who was a teacher, and she actually got into relations with one of her students, and see, this is where it gets me, because the same energy wasn't held for her when she went to court. She basically walked out of the court with suspended sentence, you know, basically like, don't do it again kind of thing, you know, but it's all right. Whereas if she was on the other foot and it was a man, it'd have been a different set of circumstances.
Oh yeah, people would have been out there with the pitchforks and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's like, if you listen to everybody's sort of story that have been through these sort of different stories, the bottom line is these people, it's just power. They just want power and to condition people. And I do believe wrong is wrong and toxic is toxic, regardless of your gender. You know?
I went into her life.
Positive before my grandson wakes up from his nap.
Yeah.
Miss Red, what's your age gap now?
Maybe not.
18 years. But you know Sloman, right?
Are you older or younger?
I'm younger. I'm 42 and Simon's 60 in March. And do you know what? He still opens the car door for me. You know, he's that kind of gentleman. If I try and even start an argument, he'll walk away. Yeah, he won't have it. It's just
worth thing for me, arguing and walking away.
Yeah, he won't have it. Do you know, sometimes I'm on a good row and it's like, I'm not doing it.
I'm my husband. He won't argue
You're too
back.
nice. I bet I can't even see you arguing with him, to be honest. You're far too nice.
Sorry, Shaz, you said she was about to say something positive.
Yeah, I was trying.
What were you about to say, sorry?
Basically, I don't think there's been obviously a lot of negativity to do with the relationship age gap. Mine's kind of positive. I was married to somebody 12 years younger than me. It was a bit of a shock when I found out his age because his friend lied to me about it. But anyway, it was the best, I will tell you now, it's the best relationship. I've had 3 relationships and the first 2 were very abusive. He came into my life and showed me what a princess was all about. So I will say older person with a younger person can work because mine did work. However, we didn't divorce or anything. I lost him to death, unfortunately. But I will say to anybody out there, don't give up if you've been in DV relationships, because I got my happy ever after. Unfortunately, it was taken from me in a horrible way. However, just be positive and try and think that there is a light at the end of that tunnel after being in something so bad.
Oh, Shazzy, thank you for sharing your story with us.
No worries. I wanted to come in with something nice and say that young ones do work, you know. Older ones didn't work.
It's a gentleman, isn't it? They act more of a gentleman than the whole lads
He was older in his ways than me. He was more older than me. He was the sofa person, and he weren't the boy racer going around town at his age, because obviously back then I was 32 and he was 31 coming up to 32 and he was 20 and he was just more of an old man than anything. Slippers and pipe for him, whereas I was still the one going out to the pubs. So, but it does work.
I was going to say, like, sorry, stay positive. Like, not all relationships where the person's older, the person's younger are all doom and gloom, you know.
No, they're not. I had the best relationship with him, and I was very, very lucky to meet such a guy with such a good heart and knew his morals, you know, whereas there is people out there that are just dogs. They're really, dogs that's been insulting to dogs, really. Monsters.
I've been in a relationship where I was the exact same age as my partner before the one I'm with now. And when I tell you that relationship was, that man wasn't as mature as what I was inside my head. He was the kind of man, he didn't acknowledge the fact that I was around. He just ignored me. He lived his life for him, and he was just there for what he could get. And now the partner I've got now, he's not much older, but there's 6 years. And he's a different man. He's more mature. He goes out, he works, he acknowledges that I'm actually present in the same room as him. He'll come in from work every day, he'll give me a kiss, he'll say, every morning I wake up to a good morning message. There's not been one day where I don't wake up to a good morning message, like, good morning babe, how you doing? I hope you have a beautiful day. Every day. These are the things that you black people need to look for. Know your worth. Don't settle for anything less. If that person isn't making you happy in your life, do something about it. Don't stay in a relationship.
Sorry, I'm just going to go to the comments a minute.
I'm going to drop the box. Thank you for letting me join for the first time.
Just going to go to the comments a minute. I don't mind anybody asking me why. I'm an open book with my story about my husband. He was 26, fit, healthy, ate healthy, and he went to the gym, and suddenly one day he had a heart attack. And unfortunately, he took his brain before his body. So I don't mind. Please don't go at that, Sam, for asking if it was a car crash. I understand people are like, you shouldn't say that, but I'm quite open to anybody asking me what happened to him. I'm fine.
Yeah, thank you, Shazzy, for being so open.
I'm open like that. I don't mind. Anybody can ask me anything, Miss Red, and you know, I'm not like Pearl. I'll be either savage or I'll be truthful with you.
No. Do you know what, ladies? Thank you, everybody, for coming in and sharing your stories. And Harley, thank you for your input. You're very, you do brilliant in these debates. You should start doing debates, Harley. I think debates.
No way. I'm staying away from that. I'll come into boxes about debates, but I'm never hosting that again. Absolutely not.
Well, I just think we should be doing something anyway. Do you know what I
Or
mean?
you could do a live like I did yesterday and get Alex, Luke, and Pearl to get your bananas.
It was your life.
It was mine, Miss Red, but it was hilarious.
Oh, Shazzy, I was watching.
Oh, it was brilliant. Honest to God, it was such a laugh. Yesterday should be a lot more on TikTok. We had such a laugh, and the pictures were a laugh, I'm not going to lie. But because Pearl decided to zoom in on the bottom, I ended up bananas.
Shazzy, I have to take a little bit of the blame for that. Sorry,
I know you're involved. Don't worry.
I'm so sorry, darling.
No, honestly, I got my account back after half an hour, but actually, I was like, "Woohoo! My first ban. I've never been banned before."
She just enjoyed being put on the naughty step for a bit. That's fantastic.
But we had an amazing live yesterday and last night in Pearls. It was such a good day yesterday to start the year off, and it was so positive and such a laugh, and everybody was laughing, belly laughs, crying, laughing, and it's what we need more on here.
I was cleaning my.
I was funny last night when Jay was getting her to do house tours, and then she was like, "Right, come on now, show us your bedside drawers." And
well, she's supposed to be getting in that freezer for me today to prove that she can get a body in it.
I was howling. I've not cry laughed for such a long time, but that live last night had me in like literally crying.
Yes, Steffi Pearl still has the TV, but it is actually her TV. That's just a joke.
I was cleaning my makeup brushes, and honestly, it kept me going because I had about 100 makeup brushes to clean. So thank you, Pearl. You put me through.
Oh, it was brilliant yesterday, wasn't it? We had
You do have a man in your comments saying he'd like to do it from a male.
I know, darling, but I've got to get. I haven't got any more time. So
Get Pearl to spark up alive and carry it on.
yeah, somebody carry on this live in another room.
Pearl, do the after show.
Pearl, yeah. Where are you, Pearl? I hope you're not eating them pasties.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No, thanks for having me in here anyway, Miss Red.
Thank you, ladies.
Take
I hope
care.
everyone has a lovely New Year.
Bye. That's a good idea, Shazzy. Shazzy,
Yeah, I'm still here.
you should go live and carry on in your live.
I can't. I've got my grandson. I can go live later, but at the moment I've got my grandson and I won't go on when he's awake.
Yeah, see, this is my problem. I've got to go and get Tilly now from the train station.
Yeah, he's in bed right now. That's why I've come on here. But, thanks for saying I'm bro. That was my first actual proper live yesterday and I was quite overwhelmed, but it was so good.
You did brilliant, Shazzy. It was amazing. I thought you was a lovely host. It was funny. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm being told to get an agent now, but I'm like, ooh, do I want to do that more?
No, you don't need an agent just yet. If you need any help, just give me a message, darling.
Okay, darling. Thank you. So thanks, everybody. Everybody take care and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, darling. So, just give me 2 minutes, please. I'm getting it up. Come on. Guys, thank you for joining today. I'm sorry the live started off a little bit, there's a little bit, but that weren't my intention. It's just that I want a place where people can come in. Happy New Year, my Lins. I want a place where people can come in, we can have a debate and, all leave friends. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I do love it. I love a good debate. So yeah, I apologise about that, but I did state at the beginning of the live it wasn't my intention to wind anybody up or be spiteful. It's just that it was something that I could relate to personally, being in that situation, like many other people. But thank you guys for joining. Tomorrow it is the FYP show at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'll see you tomorrow. I just want to say thank you to the gifted. Thank you to my Lynn, Sarah, Just Me, Kimmy, Alice, Charlotte, Amy, Steve, Squidgy, Pandalicious. I like that name, Pandalicious. Jade, Serena, Jem, and everybody else that gifted. Guys, I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye, guys. I gotta go and get the terror top now. Oh. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Holly.